Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. You may know me, my name is Zingio or Chandler Zinskio. You may have heard that I have moved to Orange County in some of my previous lives for um previous lives doing rail fanning. Well, I also post other content, Disneyland, other theme parks. I just wanted to give you some tips and tricks for Disneyland for those that are here, for those that are watching. And once again, I'd just like to give you some tips and tricks for Disneyland. And as you may have heard, I have moved to Orange County for the year. So, my tips and tricks for Disneyland. Number one is you may be looking at hotels and maybe the hotel says Garden Grove on it. Well, actually, you should search the hotel on the map because there is a bus called the Anaheim Resort Transit. I learned this. I'm a hospitality student. I learned this in my class. So by Disneyland, it's called the Anaheim Resort Area. And there's a transit company called the Anaheim Transportation Network. They run a lot of different services, the Fran, the Eve, the Anna, and the Arch. The Eve is everywhere. Everyone ventures everywhere. It is basically you make a reservation and they can take you to places like the airport. It's $15 for adults and $7.50 for seniors, disabled Medicare, and children 3 to 9. Anyone under 2 is free. And then they also have the Art Bus. Now you may be wondering why I'm talking about Garden Grove. Well, some hotels call themselves Garden Grove because they don't want to pay into the Art Bus. It means basically they don't want to pay into the service of the Art Bus. So any hotels that are called Anaheim or have Disney in the name that are along Harbor or Harbor Boulevard, they are legally required to pay into the Art Bus and legally have to sell tickets at the hotel, whether it be front desk, concierge, maybe one of their gift stores. So if you ever go to Disneyland and you're staying at one of the Good Neighbor hotels and it says Anaheim in the name, go to the front desk and ask, hey, can I buy art tickets? And, you know, but if it says Garden Grove, it means they're not participating in the program and they do not sell tickets. Doesn't mean there's not an art bus stop near the hotel. There could be one there could be one for a hotel across the street, but doesn't necessarily mean that that hotel doesn't have it. Tip number 2 is dining reservations. Everyone knows 6 a.m., 60 days. So that's what I did before. That's what I did before previously. I went 60 days ahead, did my dining reservations, all that stuff. Um, yeah, so it's best to do that 60 days, 6 a.m. to get the dining reservations you want. They can fill up really fast. Some examples, Blue Bayou, Trader Sam's at the Disneyland Hotel. And those are just a few to mention. Next is if you are going to Disneyland, think about when you want to come. If you want to do early entry, I recommend splurging on a Disney hotel, either the Disneyland Hotel or the Pixar Place Hotel. You could splurge and rent DVC points and do the Grand Californian, or just do it non-DVC points, or you don't have to rent DVC points for that and just get a normal room. It is going to be your pricier side. But if you're just coming up for the day or coming down for the day, then the best thing to do is get a Good Neighbor hotel, check in, park your car there, and then go to Disney, and then that way you have a hotel for the night. Now, as you may know, I'm from San Diego, and the best thing to do is get a hotel. You may be wondering why. The best reason why to get a hotel is, you're going to the park late at night, and then you're going to have to drive home to San Diego or, San Diego. And no one wants to drive at like 9 o'clock at night, or maybe you want to stay till park close. It's best to get a hotel and go ahead and relax. And if you're looking for good hotels, you can always go to getawaytoday.com and mention fellow Disney mentioned fellow YouTuber and Disney Parks blogger SoCal Disney Dad. He is from San Diego and goes to Disneyland about once a week. And there you can help support him while also getting great rates on Disneyland hotels and Disneyland area hotels and tickets. Now, some companies do also offer Disney tickets, so that'd be through tickets at work. And also, if you're AAA, they do. AAA has Disney tickets, and then obviously SoCal resident rate if you're going for multiple days. If you know you're going to go multiple times in a year, then it's always good to buy the Magic Keys when they go on sale. No one knows if they're going on sale again this year. We should know that we know they'll most likely go on sale January next year. It all just depends on if people cancel. Now the other tips and tricks I have is the monorail and the railroad are your best friend. So if you don't want to walk, or if you're tired and you don't want to sit down somewhere, just take the railroad for a loop around. And if Disneyland is crowded and you can't really find somewhere to eat, just take the monorail to downtown Disney. Find something in there. They got Salt and Straw. They got a Splitsville bowling alley. Maybe you get some burgers and do some bowling and then go back to the park. And that is something you should consider. The next thing is security. Now it is for downtown Disney as well as for Disneyland. So if you're basically trying to get to Disneyland, you have to go through security. Downtown Disney, you have to go through security. So please plan accordingly. Um, Now they probably talk to if you're staying in a Disney area hotel and you're trying to get to Harbor Boulevard or the transit station because maybe you're trying to get the art bus to the train station, which we'll talk about in a bit. I'm pretty sure they can tell you which way to go because most likely your bags are going to get searched. Now, tips about security: if you're wearing a birthday pin, I'm celebrating, or a first time visit pin, you do have to take it off. It will set off the metal detector. Now to talk more about the art bus, there are a bunch of different lines. The Grand Plaza line goes by the Convention Center as well as Convention Center and the Convention Center hotels. So Marriott, Hilton, and Clarion, and then a few other hotels as well. So a lot of the art buses will actually stop inside the hotels and take you directly to Disney. So stop in the parking lot or right out front. There is an art bus that'll take you from the main train station, also known as Arctic or Anaheim Regional Transportation Intermodal Center, which is located right behind Angels Stadium. Now, one thing I recommend is if you're a baseball fan, why not mix in an Angels game too? It's not that far away. Maybe one day you go to Disneyland, one day you go to California Adventure. Oh, California Adventure, you've done all the rides. Oh, maybe mix in an Angels game. You know, that's one thing you should consider. The Angels, as any of you are not baseball fans, they're in the AL West, and the heated rivalry is them and probably the Dodgers with the Freeway Series is what they call it, because Dodger Stadium being only an hour away. One thing you could do in your Disney vacation, besides going to Angel Stadium, is Universal. However, it is an hour away. You could also take the train from the Anaheim station to Union Station in downtown Los Angeles and then take an Uber to Universal. Now, about maybe an hour and a half from Disneyland, maybe 2 hours or more, 2 hours, depending on traffic, is Six Flags Magic Mountain. That is one park you could also go to. It is kind of the more, I would say, for the more thrill seekers. They do, on the Six Flags app, they do list the rides by intensity, so you can still go there even if you're not a big roller coaster fan or your motion sickness. Now, about 20 minutes from Disney, or maybe even less, is Knott's Berry Farm, which was recently merged with the Six Flag Company. They did that to make the park, just to be more, I would say, financially viable, and to make it, because they would have merged with some company either way. And that park is cool. It's your sort of Schultz Peanuts Charlie Brown themed. They do have some intense rides. They do also have some non-intense rides, and I recommend going there if you're doing Disneyland and you want to go to another theme park, but you don't want to go to Universal. That's another park I recommend. Let's see now. Other Disney tips and tricks I can think of is also check the calendar for early entry for staying in a Disney hotel. Um, yeah, certain days it's Disneyland, other days it is California Adventure. So that is one thing to look at. I believe it's Tuesdays, um, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays are Disneyland, and Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday is California Adventure. So please make sure to check the calendar for Disneyland and California Adventure early entry for hotel guests. Yeah. Now, if you're going to Disneyland for like just a day, because maybe you're driving it from San Diego to like, oh, your once a year trip, or you're coming from like Palm Springs, or maybe you're coming from somewhere in the area. What I recommend is getting a park hopper ticket, and then also recommend a hotel so you don't have to drive late at night. But also, I recommend dining reservations because you're going to be there. So maybe one meal or both of your meals are, a sit down restaurant. Get to relax under air conditioning. You get to, you know, be out of the way of the park, and you get to eat a nice meal. Now, I get if you have kids, but the restaurants do have kids menus, and I just recommend it. Now, some other tips and tricks I can think of is if you're going to see a show, consider upgrading to the dining package. For World of Color, there's One Country Trattoria, Magic Key Terrace, and then there's also Storytellers Cafe. Carthay Circle used to be on there, it's no longer anymore. I recommend the restaurant in the Grand California Storytellers Cafe. That is one restaurant I highly recommend going to. It is a buffet style restaurant. It is an extra upcharge for the dining package, but I recommend it. You get nice food, some nice food. I recommend doing it. It is, to me, is one of the best restaurants to go to. Now in Disneyland, I'm kind of biased. This is sort of my biased opinion. I've been to at least a few sit down restaurants, and I prefer Blue Bayou just because of the atmosphere. You're overlooking the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Food there is good. Now, for other Disney tips and tricks that I can think of since going there in April, is there are two forms of skip the line. So even if you have a disability, like I have mild autism, just if you have a disability that thinks can get the DAS pass, is do an interview online so you don't have to stand in line and say, hey, this is what explain why I can't stand in line. Like I have this disability. This is why I can't stand in line. This is why I need to skip the line. Like I would just buy the Lightning link because I don't want to bother with the interview. But since I'm in Orange County, I'm gonna get trying to apply for the GIS pass. So if you're eligible for that, get that. If not, and if you're there just for a day, doing the um consider doing the Lightning lane now. A Lightning multi now called Lightning Multi Pass. It's Disney's Multi Pass, and then if you do, let's say, have a Lightning lane and the ride breaks down, and it's within your time when you're going to multi-experience pass, you can use it on that ride if somehow the ride reopens or on another ride. And now for big ticket items like the Star Wars ride, Rise of Resistance, or Radiator Springs Racers, Cars Land, Disney California Adventure. Consider buying if you want to splurge and don't want to have to wait in line or do single rider. Consider buying the one-time multi-pass. It is worth it. It is worth it. It is worth it. You'll get to, if you have a reserved time, you'll go on the ride, and you have a reserved time. You get to go on the ride, and you will enjoy it. Final tips and tricks is fuel rod. You may have heard of fuel rod. It is the best phone charger out there, especially for Disney and other places too. So other places they may charge free. They may charge $1 or $2, but pretty much you buy the kit. It's about $30. The kit comes with a adapter. And I will go get the kit. I'll be right back. And we are back. I just wanted this video is just a little late night thing. I was watching SoCo Disney Dad stream and I thought I'd put together my Disneyland tips and tricks. Sorry if it's going too long, but this is fuel rod. The kit comes with the new one comes with fuel rod the fuel rod battery itself. This case. And now this is a different adapter because I broke the one I had that they gave me, but it comes with a USB-C to USB-A adapter. So like for your standard, maybe you have your old Apple cords. So like, your standard Apple cords or other non-USB-C cords. It also comes with 2 cords and 1 adapter. So a USB-C to Lightning, as you can see. A USB-C to USB-C, and then an adapter to the sort of 5-volt cord, this one right here. And the cool thing about fuel rod is you can swap it wherever you like. Just download the app. If you bought fuel rod for the first time, download the app, create an account, you get $5 free credit for new users. And Disneyland is free, so you just look on the app for the nearest kiosk or ask a cast member. You literally click swap, put in like this, you get a fresh one, and you can charge your phone. I don't know how many times I swap at Disneyland now after buying it. It is the best thing in the world. Basically, you have an unlimited phone charger, and I think it's worth it. They have it in Disneyland hotels as well as both parks. Now, sometimes you can't swap it because they are out of stock, as in just the fuel rods. So sometimes they'll only have the fuel rod kits. So sometimes they'll only have the kits available. So that means you'll have to buy. So basically, that means you have to buy the kit. This means the machine is only selling the kit that you'd have to buy. So which means you have to find another machine somewhere else. So here's a little more in-depth look at the fuel rod. It's got the barcode. It's also got a new power button with 4 lights to show you the charging level and the USB-C port. And you don't have to use the cords provided. Like I said, any USB-C cord, or they give you an adapter. This is another one I bought on Amazon because mine broke. But basically, they give you USB-C to USB-A, and you can use your normal cords. Like I use my normal Apple cord that's non-USB-C, and I just use that and to make it longer so I don't have to have it as the short one. Now, if anyone can think of any other Disneyland tips or tricks that I am giving you, just giving you the the extent of my knowledge and some of the stuff coming from a hospitality college student. Oh, last but not least is Disney. A few more for Disney hotels is if you want character breakfast, consider which one you want. I prefer Goofy's Kitchen. There's also character breakfast at Storyteller's Cafe at the Disneyland, actually at the Grand California Hotel. But consider those can be pricey. Those also 60 days. Those also are 60 days, 6 a.m. What you can also do is there are some websites that will actually give you notifications. They'll search and they'll say, "Hey, hey, this restaurant has availability on the time you're going." They'll send you an email. You can book it right away. So like Goofy's Kitchen wasn't available because I guess they were, doing some renovations and changing from like fall, like winter to springtime. And then I got a thing saying, "Hey, Goofy's Kitchen's available." I was able to book it. So yeah, and for other Disney parks, I have been to Walt Disney World once, so I can give you sort of a few tips and tricks there. The only thing I can think of is they got the monorail, they got the ferry, they also got the buses. So just take public transit. Don't consider driving unless the park is far away and you want to pay for parking. And then Disneyland Paris, never been there. My sister's been there. The only thing I can say is get the Navigo pass. There is a photo size requirement, I believe, 30 by 20 millimeters. And it has to be that exact size. Passes can only be purchased Monday through Thursday, valid Monday through Sunday, or if you buy the month pass, and that can get you anywhere from basically from the airport to Disney or even out to Versailles. So that is something worth buying, and it saves you having to get all these tiny paper tickets. Now, the last thing I can think of before I sign off on the stream is please make sure to check other websites for Disney tickets. I usually buy mine direct, but if you have AAA or you get them or um, your company participates in tickets at work or especially T-Mobile, T-Life app, you get your hotel deals, you get your attraction tickets. And then also if you're looking to plan a nice vacation, go to SoCal Disney Dad's friends at Getaway Today. If you could please mention SoCal Disney Dad. By far, I think he is one of the best Disneyland vloggers out there. And if you mention him, it'll give him some very great support and help him support in the videos. Now for hotels, I'm just going to give you a few you should consider. Clarion and Hilton, they're both on the Grand Plaza line near the convention center. Clarion's going to be your more cheaper end. It is a Choice Hotels. It's not cheap like a Motel 6, but consider about maybe $115, member rate for the night. It's your basic stuff, and then you pay for, and then breakfast not free there. You got to pay for it. Hilton is going to be one of your bigger hotels. Now, I believe they used to. I'm not sure if they have it now. They're one of the hotels that had a Disney ticket office inside the hotel because a lot of people would be going there because the convention center is right there. I also recommend Marriott across the street from the Hilton. Lastly, I recommend the Clementine Hotel as well as the Anaheim Hotel and the Camelot Hotel. And then I also recommend the Best Western across the street. Never stayed there, but if you want pricey hotels and not a Disney, stay across the street. And for hotels on property, Disney Hotel is going to be probably one of your best ones. It's tied with Pixar Place and then super expensive DCA. Hope you enjoyed this little tips and tricks stream. I will be signing off now. Please remember to like and share and subscribe this video. Thank you.